It's Tuesday, the 24th of November 2020. Welcome to the Fear and Greed Business Headlines, the business news you need in just 5 minutes. I'm Sean Aylmer. Today's headlines. The financial services sector unites to target zero net carbon emissions by 2050. That's our main story. Plus, AstraZeneca's COVID-19 vaccine candidate, which Australia has signed up to, proves 90% effective in trials. Prime Minister Scott Morrison calls for a rethink of relations between China and Australia, and the country's richest woman, Gina Rinehart, comes out swinging against the government. The financial sector in Australia, including the big four banks, major insurers, fund managers and superannuation funds, have come together to call collectively for a target of net zero greenhouse gas emissions by 2050. If successful, Australia would no longer contribute to global warming. It's one of the key goals of the Australian Sustainable Finance Initiative's roadmap to be released today. ASFI was formed last year with the goal of designing a blueprint to reshape the financial system to deal with climate change and other sustainability issues. Its roadmap includes 37 recommendations aimed at embedding sustainability into everyday operations, building sustainable financial markets, and encouraging socially responsible lending practices. It proposes standardised disclosure on climate change for all listed businesses and any financial institution with turnover more than $100 million. It also calls for climate change scenario testing, portfolio holdings disclosure, and common science-based emissions targets. The financial services sector in Australia is financially significant, employing hundreds of thousands of people with a huge property footprint. The commitment from financial services to become carbon neutral by 2050 is a significant step in Australia's environmental evolution. In overseas news, AstraZeneca and the University of Oxford said their vaccines for COVID-19 is around 90% effective without any serious side effects. This is the drug Australia has signed up to manufacture 33 million doses of, so the results are very important for this country. The benefit of the AstraZeneca vaccine is that it can be stored in a fridge, making distribution easier and safer. Britain's health minister said he expects to roll out the AstraZeneca vaccine before Christmas, with life getting back to normal after Easter. Let's hope so, but it's a little bit optimistic. Economic activity in the Eurozone tumbled this month with an index of manufacturing activity, suggesting the region has gone into a severe economic decline as COVID-19 cases surge and restrictions are put in place. And a report by Moody's said that US companies, excluding the financial service firms, have put aside a record $2.12 trillion in cash. Apple, Microsoft, Alphabet, Amazon and Facebook together hold $581 billion in cash. That's a huge amount of money sitting on the sidelines waiting for a COVID-19 vaccine or an economic pickup. Locally, Prime Minister Scott Morrison said China was damaging the relationship between the two countries by wrongly assuming we're doing the bidding of the United States. In a speech last night, the PM said Australia should not have to choose between its enduring alliance with the US and an open, transparent and mutually beneficial relationship with China. The Victorian Labor government will fund a 2-year trial that allows casuals to take sick leave and get paid. The $5 million scheme was immediately criticised by the federal government and business groups. If successful, the plan could be rolled out with businesses paying a levy to fund it. JobKeeper kept 1 in 5 workers in employment during the first 4 months of the pandemic, saving 700,000 jobs, according to a study by the Reserve Bank of Australia. Put another way, employment losses would have been twice as large if the government hadn't made the payments. Qantas resumed regular flights between Sydney and Melbourne yesterday. Just 12 months ago, it was the second most trafficked route in the world. But during COVID-19, it became 1 flight a day. Meanwhile, the airline's boss, Alan Joyce, last night said that international travellers coming to and flying from Australia would in all likelihood need to be vaccinated against COVID-19. Myer's share price has jumped to its highest level in 10 months, following speculation that a takeover is in the offing. Investors said that the worst may be over for the department store, and its online sales are booming. And Australia's richest person, Gina Rinehart, has blasted away at both sides of politics, inner city dwellers and the left media. She said it was only a matter of time before the resources industry faced new threats like a mining or carbon tax. Ms. Reinhardt said taxes in Australia were too high and there was too much red tape. The Hancock prospecting share, notwithstanding all those problems, is worth around $29 billion. That's the Fear and Greed business headlines for today. There's more on all of these stories in today's full Fear and Greed podcast, as well as an interview with Megan Motto from the Governance Institute about the release of the 2020 Ethics Index. I'm Sean Aylmer. Enjoy your day.